Hey guys, okay, so you're looking at this and you're saying, oh, what is she fixing to do? Well, this idea popped in my head. And it popped in my head after I saw something that Mary Christy had done with some snake skin and pigment. Actually, it's mica powder, which marbling pigment is mica powder. But before I get into all that and see if this idea of mine's going to pan out, there's something I've been thinking about. Hopefully this video won't end up being forever long, but this has kind of been on my mind just a little bit, and I want to kind of share it with y'all, especially rod builders that have been building rods for a long time, and people that have come up with ideas, and then they see that somebody took their idea and built on it or whatever, and then they kind of get in their feelings. Well, I'm guilty. I get in my feelings when I see somebody that's done something like, well, I did that years ago. But it should be a compliment. And there was something I read that says real stars don't compete with other stars because they understand there is room in the sky for everyone to shine. Now y'all got to think about that. I did get my feelings. I saw some stuff that somebody had done. I'm like, well, they didn't give me credit for it. And I'm sure that's where they got it from. They saw something I did. But again, like I'm going back, it's a compliment. I mean, you can't get upset when somebody sees something that you did and then they run with it and they build on it, because isn't that kind of what we want? Don't we want people to take our ideas and run with them and add to them and make them bigger and bigger and bigger? I mean, think about the guy that invented the wheel. Do you know who invented the wheel? I don't know what the guy's name was that invented the wheel. It's probably a caveman, right? Did cavemen even have names? I don't know. But if he wouldn't have invented the wheel, we wouldn't have bicycle wheels. We wouldn't have car wheels. We wouldn't have cars. I mean, things evolve. People pick things up. And if you're like me, you Google stuff. Well, you know, I want an idea how to do this. So I'm going to get on the internet. I'm going to Google or I'm on YouTube. And I'm not always going to remember who it was that I saw do whatever they did that triggered an idea in my head. So we can't get upset. I know people do. Most people don't. Most people that I know don't. But, I mean, I'm just saying. But I hope this makes sense. And I hope it wasn't too much of a rant, because we grow. We grow from things we see other people do. I like to give credit to people when I remember them. I'm sorry, guys, y'all. My memory sucks. And I look at so many videos and I look at so many YouTube things and I'm like, I can't remember who did what. But I will tell you, this idea right here, Mary Christy, or Mary Christy, if y'all don't know who she is, I'm telling you, she's awesome. Her brain goes down the rabbit hole like my brain goes down a rabbit hole, because, you know, I'm a marbling fanatic. And things pop in my head, and I just want to try them. Well, I'm going to take a couple of ideas that she had done. She had took a, and I'm going to put some links in the description after I do this video. And this is a test thing, and I'm doing it on a test blank. For y'all to, I'm sure most of you know who she is, but for those that don't, you need to look at her work. I'm telling you, the lady's awesome. But she took a piece of snake shed, and she took some mica powder and a brush, and she put it on the snake skin. And then I got to go back and look at the whole thing, but I think she put it on a test blank or whatever and put some marbling pigment on it. But y'all know I like doing some artwork. And I've gotten recently more into doing like backgrounds and then doing like silhouettes on top. So we're going to see how this works out for me. Right here, and we'll start out, it's just, this is my test blank. I just laid some white thread down. And it's like a canvas, because it's going to, if it works on this like it did in my head, it's going to be like a canvas, and it's going to hold my pigment powders. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pigment powders straight from the containers, and I'm just going to brush them on here the way I want them. Now, of course, if you can look, you already know that I'm using Pigments by Nuno, because there is such a variety of colors and shades and this, that, and the other. And for somebody like me that likes to shade and likes to draw and paint and whatever, well, that's why I love these so much, and that's why you keep hearing me do videos and stuff. So let's get into this. This video is already probably starting to go on too long, but let me see if I can get you closer so you can see me either succeed or mess up. So what I'm going to do, I'm basically going to do a background, because I picked out some colors, because I want to do something, a background basically for dolphins, I think. Okay, this is not cooperating. I thought I had this booger set up right the way I wanted it. Okay. Now what's happening is I'm keep adjusting stuff, and when I adjust stuff, I mess it up. Okay, we're going to start with, I want to see, I want to do some light blue first. Oh yeah, I can already see. You know what? I might want to move these over here, because I'm going to end up getting some colors into the other colors, and I don't want to do that. And you see, I laid me some paper towels underneath, so I want to try to work this into the thread so it won't wander off too far. I mean, but this is a kind of a way to do some marbling if you want to have more control of it. I didn't think about it until I saw what Mary did, and then, like I said, this thing popped in my head. So let's see. How do I want to do that? Oh, I don't know. We're just going to play with it. But I'm not going to talk too much, because I may talk. I don't know. I may ramble. You don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, let's go with some. That color right there was Arctic Blue. I'm going to go to the back side of this and kind of just add a bunch of darker blue. I don't know how dark I'm going to be able to get this, you know, especially on white. It is a little wasteful, but hey. I know where I can get some more. HFF Custom Tackle. Or custom rods. I bet paint would work with this too. But we'll see. Let me just keep on getting some of this blue down. Yeah, that'll work. Just push it in there really good. But like I said, I put this thread on here basically to make like a canvas, because yeah, it seems to get it in there really good to hold the pigments in place. I don't know, when I put some I may mix up some pigment, especially with this color right here I'm using is Tropical Blue, and I may take some of it and mix it up to make it a little darker in these areas. But I'm going to get all this down and kind of show you how I did this part, and then I'll put the epoxy on it, and then I'll come back and show you what it looked like after I put the epoxy on. And then we'll go from there and see if I have to put another coat, or actually put some mixed up pigment. But this is an idea. And I'm going to try to remember to put some links to Mary's, Mary Christy. She's got Instagram, she's got a decorative art studio, she's got, I think it's on YouTube, she's got some podcasts. She's always teaching, because that's what she loves to do, and she's good at it. So I hope to say I'm good at it. I mean, only y'all can tell me that. Okay, let's get back over here. Let's see if I can get some of this. It's not really gonna matter, I don't think, because get some of this lighter blue. Come back over here. And do this side, and this is kind of where my dolphins are gonna go, and a couple of pine trees. Not pine trees, what the heck? Palm trees. I think if this works out the way I'm wanting it to, this would be a nice little technique to do some more detailed sunsets or sunrises. Because with this, it being dry and everything, you have way more control over it. And you don't have to, like, worry about with it having epoxy mixed in with it. Well, I gotta keep it turning while I'm doing this, because this way it's kind of worked into the thread. Okay, let's kind of blend this in together. And blend this over here. Okay. Now let's add a little bit of green, just to kind of juice it up a little bit, just in some spots. I mean, you know how sunsets are. They've got all these beautiful, beautiful sunsets and sunrises. They got all these beautiful and beautiful colors, all streaked out through the sky. And the other thing too, auroras. That's another thing I really love is auroras. Okay, so we got that. Not sure how that part's going to turn out. Hopefully when I put some epoxy on top of it, it's just going to all kind of blend in together. We're going to see. We are just going to see. Oops, too much. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Seems like if I keep going over it, it keeps getting darker. Kind of what I want, right? Work it in, work it in, work it in. Okay. Yep. Like I was saying earlier, we all want credit for our work and when we share stuff, but you know what? We all can't remember where it all comes from. I'm trying not to be too wasteful. Okay. All right. Now, I want a little bit of white to kind of, not too much. Put a reflection of the sun or the moon. I'm going to do this time without a fixative. I might turn around and add some art fixative to it to keep it in its spot. All right. We're going to see how that turns out after I put the epoxy, or a coat of epoxy on it. I will be back. Y'all stay tuned. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like after I put some epoxy on top of it. Keep your fingers crossed. Say a prayer because we want it to stay the way it is. All right. I'll be back. All right. So I got me some epoxy mixed up. And I didn't like slather it on like you would when you're coating your guides or whatever. I took the brush, I put it in my epoxy and I dabbed it. I just lightly dabbed it because I didn't want to put a whole lot on this first coat, because I didn't want it to wander around too much, because that would kind of defeat my whole purpose. And I'm not gonna lie, I went and took a little bit that was left in the epoxy, what was left in the bottom of my epoxy when it was clear. I added a little bit more of the tropical blue because I wanted the back part and the very top part, like all this back and this top right here, I wanted it a little darker, which I don't know, that may or may not have been a mistake. I'm not sure yet. Only time will tell when this thing dries. But yeah, this is a good idea. This is a good idea, I believe, because it gives you more control of where you want certain colors, especially if you're doing a specific project like a background, like what I'm doing. And I'm in another video, because I got a couple of things on the stick that I've done before. Backgrounds. And I'm going to put my palm trees and a couple of dolphins jumping out of the water. Silhouette, of course. And something else in another video that I've got, like, down that direction. Like, let me show you. See if I can turn it. I did this little section before. And it's an idea I had for a moon and some waves, and I wanted to do like a darker background so I could use a white Posca pen to draw a moon and waves. So kind of like a backwards silhouette, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. You never know what my crazy mind's going to come up with. I'm telling you, these rabbit holes, you can get down them, but they're fun. They're good rabbit holes to be in. Well, I'll do another video after I put my dolphins and the moon and stuff on the other, just specifically, and I can kind of link maybe this kind of timing together somehow so y'all can see what it all looks like. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave y'all some more ideas that you can jump in, grab it, take it off, and run with it, and add your own ideas to it, and improve on it. And like I said earlier in this video, that's the point. That's why we get on here and we show people how we do stuff, so they can add to it and just keep on going with it. But anyway, that's it for this video. You guys take care, tight lines, and God bless. And stay tuned for my next one, because you got to see how this turns out when I add my my silhouettes to it. And see y'all later. Don't forget to subscribe.